You know, every now and then you get to meet one of your idols. Somebody has given you inspiration. Somebody has helped you maintain your weight. You know, years and years ago, I remember hearing about Jared from Subway. And I'm one of those guys that always had a hard time controlling my diet. So I kind of took a look at what he did, and I am one of those guys who lives daily on $5 footlongs, and I'm trying to do it healthy. Jared Fogel's here. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Good to see you. Thank you.
Now, let me ask you a little inside something, only because I need your help. You know,
I'm here to help you.
I'm sure everybody knows the Subway. I go to my regular Subway every day, and I go in and get the same thing. I'm getting the oven-roasted chicken on the whole wheat with lettuce and tomato, but no oil.
No oil, that's good.
Is there anything else I can put on that without getting into trouble?
You could put the sweet onion sauce on. You could put the vinegar on. You could put mustard or spicy mustard, honey mustard. All those are fat-free sauces and taste really good. So it gives it the kick without having the calories, the excess calories.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now I think everybody knows your story, but I'm sure there's a few people out there who don't know just where it totally began. That first moment, where you were at weight-wise, and how you decided to make this decision to go the Subway way.
Well, you know, all my life I've been putting on weight from 3rd or 4th grade on, and it just got worse and worse through a very sedentary lifestyle and lots of fast food, lots of junk food. And before I knew it, I was a 20-year-old college student at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, weighing over 425-plus pounds.
Well, how much?
425-plus.
At what age?
At 20.
20 years old, 425.
And ironically, my dad's a doctor. He's a family physician. So I grew up knowing what I should and shouldn't be eating. I grew up, you know, knowing all those things. I just never chose to follow his advice, and I always went the other direction. And unfortunately, wound up in confrontation after confrontation with him, as you can imagine. I mean, not only was he my father, but he was also a doctor, so he had both things going. And it just became a real difficult situation. And I think I finally got to the point where I said enough was enough. I was developing sleep apnea. I couldn't breathe at night very well. I had edema where I had a fluid buildup in my ankles and in my wrists because my body just couldn't circulate the fluids like it needed to. So I was finally scared enough to say, hey, I need to change, you know, and I'm very fortunate I did when I did because I didn't develop cardiovascular disease. I never developed diabetes. However, those things obviously were right around the corner, I'm sure. And I was looking for a way to lose weight. I tried every diet known to mankind for at least a few days, it seemed like, and I'd always fall off the wagon, so to speak, and resume my old eating habits of lots of fast food and whatever, and just sitting around. And lo and behold, my junior year of college, when I was at IU, I actually lived right next door to a Subway restaurant.
So this, now let's say, so this is your junior year.
The junior year, this is my
These were your pants you were wearing in college.
These are the famous pants that have now been around the world and back. And these are a 60-inch waist. Now, now they are the relaxed fit, though, just so you know, because you know we want to make sure we have plenty of room there. But you know, I was obviously a big guy, and I needed to make those major changes. And you know, after years of struggling with my weight and whatnot, I stumbled upon that idea to eat Subway sandwiches just by chance. I was in the Subway restaurant. I picked up a nutritional guide and added up the fat grams and the calories, and it made sense that if I stuck to two of those low-fat Subway sandwiches every day, with the baked chips, with the diet soft drinks, and if I started walking at least somewhat every day, maybe this could be a way for me to lose weight. And sure enough, in the first 3 months alone, I dropped 94 pounds.
94 pounds?
It was coming out fast. Now, my dad was obviously wanting to make sure I got checked up by another doctor, just to make sure everything internally was functioning like it should. Kept getting me okays that as long as I was okay with everything, the doctors were as well. And maintained that for a year, continuing those eating habits for a year like that. Increased my walking every couple weeks, and within that year, lost about 245 pounds total.
So how did Subway find out about you? I mean, and now you're a spokesperson. How did that happen?
You know, I never thought in a million years anyone would ever care. I never thought Subway would ever care. I never thought anybody besides my family and friends would ever know what I had done. But a buddy of mine in college who wrote for the local newspaper there wanted to write an article about my story, and I said, sure, if you want to, go for it. So he put me on the front page of the campus newspaper, and there's about 40,000 kids that go to IU, so it's a pretty big school, and everybody picks up a copy of the daily paper. Well, that article started getting picked up by newspapers and magazines all across the country, and before I knew it, I got a call from Subway, and they wanted to know more about my story. And while I was still a student at IU, they flew me out to Los Angeles to film a commercial. It was only going to be a little test commercial, and boom, God bless America, it took off, and here we are almost 12 years later.
And you're a great inspiration for so many people, and including me. I mean, I'm doing it the healthy way. But now I understand you're training for the New York City Marathon. Tell us about that.
You know, I'm 32 this year, and as anybody knows, the older you get, the harder it is to keep the weight off. And it's been over, you know, obviously over 10 years and 11 years that I've had the weight off now, and you know, always just trying to maintain that and whatever. And I figured, you know, what better time in my life if it's on my bucket, sort of been on my bucket list to say, hey, I can do a marathon. So I've been training hard for it this year, and luckily just finished my first half marathon a couple weeks ago. And my goal is to finish the New York City Marathon later this fall, and hopefully that too can inspire some other people to say, hey, you know what? If that Jared guy can not only lose the 245 pounds to keep it off, but now he can actually complete a marathon, hopefully other people will say, I can do that too.
Now, I understand you've got a foundation set up. Tell us how people can get involved in what your foundation is all about.
Yeah, it's called the Jared Foundation, and it's a not-for-profit group I founded a couple of years ago out of central Indiana as a way to really try to get into schools and help kids go down a different path than I went down. You know, unfortunately, we all know childhood obesity right now is at an all-time high in this country. Kids are getting heavier and heavier, it seems like, every day. And I know the First Lady Obama obviously is very much behind reducing childhood obesity as well, which is great. But the Jared Foundation, we're just trying to get that message out, get the message out to those kids, using a platform that they already know me from TV anyway as the Subway guy. And let's say, hey, I expect you guys to make better decisions than I made. Here's how I made my mistakes. All the video games, all the internet, all the fast food, junk food. And before I knew it, my life was out of control. I want to make sure you guys don't have to go down that same path. So the Jared Foundation, we're trying to create those programs to get those kids on a healthier path.
Awesome stuff. Is there a website for that?
Yeah, jaredfoundation.org. So Jared foundation.org. You can even donate straight from that page. Every donation helps. It's obviously we need all the support we can get. So.
Now, I understand Subway's teamed up with 95.7, and we've got the Subway Fan Zone going on over at the Travelers Championship. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to be there tomorrow all day long at the course, so come on out. It's going to be a hot day, but we'll have fun anyway. And we're just going to be talking to people, taking some pictures, signing some autographs, that kind of thing. And we're going to have a putting contest for some really cool prizes. We're going to give away a year's supply of Subway sandwiches. We're going to give away some Live Nation concert tickets for this summer. So it's going to be a good time. It's always a good time with the Travelers. This is my second year getting to be part of the action, and was real excited to be invited back for this. So
I mean, I just can't believe the fact that you take the time to come in here to do this. Now, how many appearances are you making throughout the year for
I'm
Subway?
on the road about 200+ days a year, not just here in the country, but all overseas. So it's just Subway's in like 86 different countries, 87 different countries right now. So, it's been a great ride, and obviously the story is not just an American story now; it's gone to the sort of international level as well.
Okay, words of inspiration, real quick, for those people that are watching right now, and can they make it?
Absolutely, you can make it, and you got to want to do it. I always say you can't depend on your doctor to do it for you. You can't depend on your family and friends to want it for you. You have to be the one to want it. It's hard work. It's a lot of sacrifice. But I'll tell you what, it's so worth it in the end for so many reasons. You get your life back, and you can't put a price on that.
Jared, I mean, you are absolutely awesome. And I'm not kidding you.
Thank you very much.
After I get done here, boy, I tell you.
Roasted chicken, $5 footlong. I know people.
If you want to check out what's going on with the tournament, take a look. It's all on your screen right there. If you have any other questions, you can go to WTNH.com and check out the Connecticut Style link. Coming up next, we're